frankly. The more cases, the more things we get out there, the better it will be.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not going to happen overnight.
No. Now, hey, Gordon, I'm going to have to put you on hold for like 1 minute while I do a couple little things. I'm going to put you, so don't hang up, because I'm not hanging up on you, but it's going to go quiet.
I'll have a cup of tea.
Okay. Okay, sir. We'll be right back. So, hey, I can see, I watched the couple YouTube things that Gordon sent me. I mean, just the artistic of the voice, like Shakespeare type of, the way it was all worded, and it just draws you right into it. I did put a link on that on Facebook where you can actually, take a listen to that. We'll be right back in about 1 minute.
UFO IP. Which is a professional group of highly educated UFO slash paranormal field investigators.
Check out Night Dreams' website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
You're listening to Night Dreams Radio with Gary Anderson.
Hey, that is me. Well, we got about another half an hour tonight with Gordon. He's all the way in France. I mean, you would think this time of year France would have great weather, but from what Gordon says, it isn't. But his book, you need to check it out. It was, originally written around the mid-'70s. It was released in May, I believe, the 21st of 2016. I mean, it has 772 pages, so it will not be, a weekend read unless that's all you do is start in the morning and read the book all day and all night. Hey, it might be a good way to lose some weight. It sure beats watching TV. I mean, I got a funny feeling you can kind of get into it the way Gordon writes. Hey, Gordon, are you back yet?
I am here, indeed.
Okay. Yes. Well, I'm going to have to get the book myself and read it. Like I said, I got so engrossed watching those little video clips you sent me from YouTube. I mean, wow. I mean, very professionally done. And, from reading your other book that you sent me, very good, good read. Very educational. So I think this book, you can get into it. And honestly, I wouldn't doubt if you have some producer one of these days, contact you. Because, I hate to say it, I got a couple producers coming up here next week, that produces a lot of movies, both actually in the sci-fi and horror side. A couple very famous ones, and I know they listen to the show every night. So, hint, hint, guys, maybe they need to get a copy of this book and read it. Okay, Gordon, we're back now with you.
Well, hey, Gary, is that when are they coming?
Well, let me take a look. Coming up, let's see. Okay, well, the first one is going to be on the 25th. His name is Joe. Last name is Lujan. And if you look him up on the internet, you'll be surprised. He has produced and directed a lot of sci-fi movies. And I'm not talking, the junky movies. I'm talking, first-class movies.
that's interesting. Well, Gary, I think, I think it might be an idea. And you've got another one coming, you say?
Yeah, I'd have to go through my list, but I got actually a couple of them. Plus, I got a couple of actually movie stars that are in the sci-fi realm. I'm not talking like the number 2 and number 3 stars. I'm talking about the main stars that listen to the show again every night. I mean, it's really getting popular.
Well, okay. I think I think this could. I think it might be worth me sending you a couple of copies, huh?
Well, at least one. I normally read. If you send me a book, because I don't know that many pages, Gordon. I don't know. I think my wife would actually be swearing at you because I have a tendency. I go to bed at night. I wait till she starts snoring, because then I know she's sleeping. Then I start reading the books.
Okay. Do you tell me? Do you have an Audible account?
No, I don't.
Because I could send you. I could send you links to get free downloads of the audiobook too.
But anyway,
I'm sure you would. I mean, it's true. It's true that sitting there, because it's 772 pages is a bit big. I mean, so you can't put it into your pocket and take it out, sort of at any time. So there is another option, which is of having the three volumes separately, and they are more manageable.
Okay.
Anyway,
we can talk. We can email each other about that. But and hinting out there to a couple of these people, the producers that listen to the show, this book might be something. Because right now this type of stuff is really, I hate to say it. My whole life is paranormal, and when I get up in the morning to I do my show. Even when I'm, during the day, I'm booking people for my show, and my girl that does the booking for me. I hate to say it. I have the TV going on and I'm watching sci-fi, I can't help it.
Yeah. I mean, I must say, Bill Homewood, but by the way, Bill Homewood is somebody worth looking up, because you'll see his fantastic career and probably all the audiobooks that he has recorded. But he keeps saying to me, he says, Gordon, he says, this is absolutely perfect film material. He said you've really got to get that into the hands of the right people, because he says it would be a huge hit. Plus the fact it's a ready-made trilogy. There is all the material you need for three 2 hour or 2.5 hour movies.
Oh yeah.
And he says you really should. He said, because it is so visual. He said, and it is so much built around visual context that it would be really wonderful to translate it into a movie. So and he's not the kind of guy who minces his words, because he's a lovely guy. He's a wonderful guy. But when I start talking to him about reincarnation, I mean, he says, "Oh, that's a load of bollocks."
Oh yeah.
He absolutely shuts the door to any idea of previous lives or lives to come or anything like that. He absolutely is. He thinks that in that respect, he thinks that I'm a little bit, off the page.
Well,
but he says, "But I love you for it. Don't change."
Well, I'll say this. One of my guests I've had on, maybe it was about 10 months ago, he was a retired, homicide detective. And he, when he retired, he always been intrigued, with hypnotizing people, and not what you see on the stage, but he wanted to get into regression. And he started regressing people to try to help them. And I asked him once, I said, well, since you were a detective all those years, did you ever check any of these stories out that the people would tell you? And he goes, yeah, I checked a couple out, and then I haven't checked any out since then because they matched.
Yeah.
And by the way, another one of my listeners on the station or my show is the vice president of Sony Entertainment. Has a tendency of every so often tuning in and listening to me. So, what can I'm not bragging, but I guess it's the way the type of guest I have on the show. It's a little bit different than some shows. So.
Yeah, great. Oh, well, it's great. It only takes the right thing at the right time to happen, and who knows? Who knows? No, it would be a very exciting movie. It's true, and it would be interesting to see whether or not a producer would just concentrate on the story, or whether they would introduce some of the ancillary material, because you would think that they wouldn't, but we with Bill we've talked about this, and we both feel that the opening sequence where the urns are found under the Antarctic ice is quite an adventure. I mean, it's sort of, I guess we're getting into Indiana Jones country here, but when the guy falls through the ice and suddenly is in this sort of ice chasm, and his flashlight goes around it, and he sees there's something glinting down there in the depths, and they lower him down, and he finds these urns with this strange writing on them, and these are the Harkon urns on which the story has been based, of course, and we also go on to hear about the researchers who work on deciphering the documents at the Dickinson Institute in Melbourne, which of course everybody knows. There's a rivalry that goes on. There's another subplot. Are the people working at the Dickinson Institute and the professor in charge, who absolutely does not want it to be published to the general. It does not want it to come out and be published. And in fact, this guy, he stages a theft at the institute, and all the documents disappear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we subsequently find out through an article, through a couple of articles, one of them in the Australian, the other one in the Sydney Morning Herald, that when he dies, mysteriously the documents are found in his cellar. And we also have an article which links him to the CIA, and it is revealed that he visited the CIA headquarters the week before the documents were stolen.
Oh, wow.
So we've got conspiracy theory in there as well, So how many of these stories could be woven into a movie? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of them could be.
Well, especially at the beginning where they find the urns, that they could, because there's so much, when it comes to Antarctica, from, the secret bases from the Nazis during World War II, all this type of stuff. I mean, it is so, engrossed. People are engrossed into anything right now about Antarctica.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's become the flavor of the month, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sure is.
But it's true. I mean, there is so much. There's so much. The other day it's not new, but the other day I came across again all the dimensions and the significance of the pyramids and how accurately they are aligned to the poles, and the relationship between the circumference of the Earth and the height of the pyramid and all this kind of thing. I mean, there are so many things we don't know. We are so. Let's face it, that we are so damned arrogant that we think we're the bee's knees with our little civilization that's lasted 6,000-7,000 years. I mean, that is really that is really not even a sneeze in cosmic time, huh?
Well, no.